Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I was out here prepping the food plots. I was like, well, this would be a good time to maybe just go over a good video idea. So as of right now, as you can see, I'm in the middle of one of my food plots. Yes, the snow just melted and it's still very much winter-ish like. Still gets below freezing at night, so won't be planting anything as of right now. But what I'm doing is I'm just sitting here and let me get this in the video. I am just taking basically what my grandpa used to level out his driveway, but it serves a purpose, and I'm roughing up the ground back here. And all that's doing is, so as you can see when we get in here, there's this nice dead layer of just stuff that we've cut up, and then I'm just going through and trying to get all this dirt loosened up. And obviously there's still sticks and stuff in here. But all this is gonna do is I bought a basically no-till seed of clover and some ryegrass and some other stuff. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come through here and put that down with, weed killer and stuff first. But what I wanted to do is just, what happened last year was basically I came through and this got tilled, but it was more dug. And I mean, this ground's pretty rough. So what this is also doing at the same time is breaking up those mounds that were caused, while also just kind of making it more smooth and plantable, because these seeds are not supposed to go way deep down, but also they need to make good soil contact, and they wouldn't do that if I had that large mulch layer. Because what I do is I sit here and I let this grow probably chest high in areas back here, and then I come through and I chop it, and then it'll grow maybe like hip high, and I'll come through and chop it, and then I do one more cut right before the beginning of bow season. So I'm gonna get to it, and I'll fill you guys in and keep on going as I go along. All right, so now that Echo Pass is done, well, I think I'm gonna be done just doing this, because I mean, I'm satisfied with what it looks like. But as you could tell here, I mean, it doesn't look like I did a lot. You might be saying, oh my gosh, David, you just wasted your time. It doesn't look any different. Well, I mean, when we get down in close, as you can tell, I mean, it roughed the ground up, which is exactly what I wanted. And as you can tell, the ground's still pretty wet, but there's this mulch layer. And that's the reason why I went with this scratching stuff, because I'm not trying to turn up the dirt. What I'm trying to do here is just get it to where it's a more plantable surface while leaving that nice mulch layer on top. So as you can see in the video that I kind of put in here, it was just short, but what it does is it goes through that mulch layer, will sit there and just go through and stay on top. And some of it might get put down, but I mean, it's a good slow release fertilizer then. And also, some of you might be thinking, well, why only planting clover and ryegrass? That's good for spring, summertime, but when it comes down to the winter and fall months, you need to have that good winter forage. Well, I don't know if you could tell, but I live on a farm, and my hunting plot here is surrounded by fields. So directly north of me, that's a cornfield, and then east, oh, there's trees in the way, but that's also a cornfield. South, we got a soybean field, and then through the woods here, obviously this is our woods, but that's our neighbor's land, and they have another cornfield. So this is basically landlocked in by agriculture fields. So there's always going to be soybeans, corn, stuff from the forage on, and that's why I'm also planting clover in this ryegrass, is so it gives them something different to eat. That's kind of what you want to do when you're planting your food plot, is what separates you from your competition. No, not even competition, but just others in the area. So another thing that I did, we have almost no water source really in this area. So last year, me and my dad came through and I got the tractor stuck back here because it's pretty swampy. This is where our fields drain off into, is through here. But what we did is we took a backhoe and we dug in this. And I mean, it's not very big. It's, you know, pretty deep. But what it does, I mean, it's almost always full of water. And that brings a lot of deer in as well. Let's see here. So as of this food plot, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go and I'll probably get some Roundup of some sort and come through and spray this all down, because as you can tell, we have green coming through. I mean, it's starting to grow, which isn't a bad thing, but I kind of want this to be clover, ryegrass only. And I don't really care for much else. So I'll come through. We have a lot of rain in the forecast, so that might be a while, but come through, spray this all down. I mean, this is probably not even a quarter acre plot, which, you know, oh my gosh, you know, but it works plenty good. I've harvested deer out of here before. All right, so now we are at the second plot that I have on this hunting property, and as you can tell, we are in the middle of the woods. Well, kind of, sort of. And this is actually no power equipment of any sort was used back here. So what this used to look like was basically that. I mean, it was just a lot of saplings, dead leaves, everything. So I chose this area mainly because I think it was a year or two ago, me and my dad came through and we were trying to make basically a straight lane coming through here. And as you can tell, it kind of continues on and goes back in through there. But we got a terrible storm last summer that, as you can tell, did some damage. And it's really messed up the woods back here, making the travel lanes for the deer that were established here basically non-existent. So I noticed a lot of deer activity, just a deer trail going through here. I probably won't hunt this food plot. This is going to be a specifically food only food plot for now, because through these woods, I can show you in a little bit, there's a bedding area. So in this bedding area, there's a trail that comes basically, and they use this large trail that me and my dad cleared to travel. So what I did here is, not right there, as you can tell, this is still pretty swampy and muddy, but I just took a garden rake, metal garden rake, and raked it back, and that's kind of what it looks like. And I came through, took a lopping shears, chopped up the saplings. I mean, yeah, there's still some in here, but I'm not planning on putting anything where I'm gonna have to till or actually plant anything. This is just gonna be a dusting over the top before a rain probably. As same thing, clover, ryegrass. Since it's gonna be back here, might put some rutabagas in, but everything back here has to be shade tolerant, because this is hardwood and they all grow leaves, and it comes kind of shady in here. So for this food plot, obviously I have to wait for it to dry out. I mean, it's a mud mess. And what I plan on doing is I'm gonna leave the leaves that are on here. I'm gonna come through with basically like a hand till, and I'm just gonna kind of loosen the dirt up, then come through, sprinkle it on, and then I'm gonna overseed it, because I feel like this area will get hit quite a bit. And you know, it's a very small plot. I mean, if I had to guess, it's maybe 100 feet long and maybe 20 feet wide. So, you know, 2,000 square feet, which for the deer that come through here, I'm not concerned that they're not gonna have enough food. I mean, there's acres and acres of stuff, but I just want this to be a main attraction point, and I have a trail camera in here to kind of take a census of the deer that are coming through. So, yeah. So I'll come through here. I don't know if I'm going to use weed killer on this yet, because I don't know if you could tell, but there's no natural vegetation that has grown in this woods, because it gets infested with buckthorn and saplings, and it's really shady. So there's really never been grass or anything back in here. I don't think it would hurt, but I'm not going to do it till it starts becoming a problem. And yeah. All right, so now that I'm back in this bedding area, as you can tell, I mean, it's not standing up right now. It's pretty packed down from the snow still, but you know, you can see it's starting to stand up. But this is probably a good acre and a half maybe of just straight tall grass. I don't know exactly what these plants are. It's a mix of stuff, but as you can tell, I mean, it's good. And then this is not our field, this is our neighbor's field, but they will come in, and they'll come in from this field, and this is our property line right here. There's a row of trees going down. This is our field, and they'll walk all along here, and they'll cross the road, because I mean, what's kind of weird but nice about what we have is this is the only chunk of woods surrounded by a bunch of fields. So they have plenty of forage, it's just a problem of attracting them here. So this is something I would not recommend doing, is going into their bedding areas when it comes down into season, unless, you know, you have to walk through it to maybe get to where your stand's at, but I try to rearrange that. But when I come through here after season, which, you know, doesn't really matter, but I will find beds on beds back here, and it's just perfect. Now you might be thinking, well, that sure is a kind of sucky area, because what happens when you run out of deer that come through here? Well, directly south of here, it's probably not even a quarter mile away from where I'm at right now, there's two plots of woods that go boop, and then there's a field that goes in the middle of them, and then another plot of woods. And we always have deer cycling through here, especially during the rut. We'll have deer that will travel. If you have time, go look up the Comstock buck. I never got him on trail camera, but he was in the area, and that thing was a monster. And that's kind of what's nice about living near agriculture and making sure they have good food sources. That's how you get those big antlers on top of, you know, the minerals and all that in the next thing. But we grow some nice deer around here, and yeah. So if you like the video, like and subscribe. I'll keep you updated on the food plots. It'll probably be a good, I don't know, week or so before I do anything next with them, just because we do have a lot of rain in the forecast, and it's supposed to get nicer next week on just it not dipping below freezing at night, which I don't want to plant till it's not freezing at night, because I don't want the seeds to kind of die off or freeze up and become dormant. But anyways, see you around.